Sangeeta ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Can we start? Because
Yes, yes,
10:30. Because let's when a class has to start at 10:30, we should start at 10:30.
yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra, who's joining us from Lucknow right now. Dr. Dheeraj, besides being a good friend, but is also a very passionate human being. I've been knowing him for years together. When it comes to helping other teachers, he's the first person to be always in the forefront. I would quickly say a bit about Dr. Dheeraj. If I start reading the whole profile, maybe even 1.5 hours would be less. So I picked up some very good points which really highlights his personality as a whole. He's been a teacher, he's been a principal all his life, and then as every principal and a teacher aspires, he also grew up the ladder. He's already received he's a national awardee for best teacher in 2005, which he received from the government of India. He's also a yellow belt in Six Sigma. I'm Dr. Dheeraj. I'm going to see that yellow belt sometime. So he went on specializing after teaching and being a school leader. Also started specializing into quality, right? And if I look at him, I remember quality, right? Because that's one of his key benchmarks and key highlights. He's been an author of several books, right? He's written how many textbooks so far?
Around 50 plus.
50 plus books, textbooks all across. He's an innovator. The beauty is that he didn't stop with print books, but he's developed more than 150 apps. That is amazing. I mean, so he's used both the mediums very well, and most of them are in where? Play Store?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, the Android Play Store. Yeah, that can be checked on Google as well. With the APK files. Yeah.
Okay. So he's developed on his own around more than 150 apps on topics which could sound very simple but are very, very important, right? So what I've seen is he picks up very, very easy topics, and to ensure that teachers are able to use apps and get educated on that topic, he's developed that apps out of his own passion. He's conducted more than 2,000 workshops overall, right? He goes to different private schools, he goes to different countries, right? Malaysia, different countries to support teachers and schools. So thank you so much, Dr. Dheeraj, for joining us today. These are some of the blessings of lockdown, that we are able to get good resource people on, at a time which we require. But also for you to agree, thank you so much for that. Let me introduce quickly what the group here. The Mumbai Municipal Corporation started two new pilot schools. One is going to be an ICSE school, and one is going to be a CBSE school. And the regular schools of the municipal corporation are state board schools. So this was an initiative which the authorities of the BMC started seeing, that can we give options to the parents. Also, I think besides giving options, also it will support the existing environment of the municipal schools, because you get more learnings inside. You get different curriculum frameworks getting inside, which also helps the other state board schools of the municipal corporation. So I think the idea is to ensure that learning comes out of this whole project. So we started two this year. Both are located in Mumbai, And so both the teams are there in this common workshop which we are organizing, and both are very, very special. The teachers have been handpicked, the school heads are being handpicked, and I'm sure there are many more jealous teachers outside who wanted to be in this group. They must be so jealous that they're not in this group. But I'm sure that these two schools will give more opportunities to other teachers and other schools in the future to start more, because the municipal corporation is thinking about setting up more ICSE and CBSE schools in the future. I will work very closely with the concerned teams. The objective is to bring that kind of culture and bring that kind of learning into the group. So that's the objective. The school admissions were done on lottery system because transparency is something that the municipal corporation believes in. We are overfilled with kids. The demand is very high. Of course, lockdown came as a challenge, but now we need to treat that challenge as an opportunity and see how our teachers can learn. And next step would to see how our students can also learn, right? That's going to be the next step. So we have some topics like virtual learning at the environment, different areas. So this training is happening over 6 days, and
Your audio is muted.
yeah. I just muted because my son was
Oh.
trying to mute my dog, my pet dog. So I was just telling him, just wait.
Yeah,
This is the beauty of home learning, right? So I think that's the whole objective, and we want to ensure that our teachers learn, our students learn, and everyone moves ahead. So, and we will not be introducing everyone because they would write to you on chat. That will take a lot of time. So over to you, sir. And Sangeeta ma'am is also here, who's one of our deputy education officers. She's there in. Uh, I can see her name, but she's also sitting and working. So she's going to be playing double role here. So welcome, Sangeeta ma'am. Yeah, so I think she's there. So, yeah, so Dr. Dheeraj, you can start, and
Okay.
those who want to, if you take your cursor to a Dr. Dheeraj's camera, you can pin him so that he can be, the screen can be slightly larger, which would be easier to see. Okay, over to you, Doctor.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. And it has been really kind of Mr. Francis, who is a great friend of mine, and he has been doing wonderful work. And I wish that he leaves Mumbai and comes to other states as well, because his type of job and the operation is actually, a welcome surprise for all the state governments. But you people are so fortunate to have him as your mentor. So God bless you all, and may God bless him for the wonderful job he's doing. Well, the session today actually talks about making your classroom effective. Now, effective in the sense, of course,
Sorry,
you are.
Dheeraj, maybe
Yeah, please.
your face is cutting off. Maybe you can move it a little. Yeah,
Okay,
perfect.
okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So the priority of this particular session is to also make you feel comfortable as a teacher when you go to the classroom. And of course, these days you are well equipped with the online platforms and engaging them in the best possible manner. But certainly, as he rightly said in the beginning, that chat mode is one of the means through which you can actually motivate the speaker or the teacher going on with that process. So I take the lead from there only, that the connectivity and the engagement is very much required. For if we don't engage our kids, we land up enraging them. And of course, when the children are excited in the classroom on your arrival, they actually look forward to the wow element by you as a teacher. And if that wow element is missing somewhere, they have no option but to sleep with their eyes open. And that they have been doing over the years. We also did as students in our yesteryears. But of course, that time we were not well occupied with so many independent learning tools. Now, today, the children are well equipped with standalone learning spectrum. And teachers within the four walls of the schools or the classrooms are no longer the only alternate for learning, and we know it well, right? So we need to get to well versed ourselves, and this type of a session is actually going to help us integrate the learning in the best possible manner. For the references, making learning a priority for all of us. We all may be teaching for the last 10 years, 15 years, and we are well versed with our teaching. We can teach without the book. But today, the spectrum is completely different. Children look forward to the teacher who is engaging, who is motivating, and who has knowledge of smartness. I call it, I don't require teachers who are hardworking. I don't require teachers who are smart working, but I do require teachers who are street smart working. And the term street smart working actually symbolizes that you should be knowing what's going around. You should be well versed about the connectivity. You should be well versed with the technology. And today, the technology has reached not only the classrooms, but the drawing rooms and the bedrooms of the children. And they're comfortably taking knowledge, solving questions, taking once the question paper is out online or once it is done through, they try solving it. They are preparing themselves for the future with the very location of guiding themselves on their own, and above all, they are not waiting for the class teacher to finish the course. Remember, they are in the school to be engaged, they are there in the school to be guided, facilitated. But the teaching, the term teaching has changed over the years because the children already have knowledge. They want to curate that knowledge. There is a word in English, curation, curating the knowledge. And that is the time when the children look forward to taking part in the learning process. And for all of us as teachers, we are actually learning through teaching. And the moment we enter the classroom, we say good morning children, and they take their classes, they take their places, they take their books. And when you say let's learn together, it makes the difference. Because if you think that you are the king and the queen of the classroom, and once the children pass the threshold of the classroom and enter inside, it is your kingdom. I'm sorry, gone are the days. Gone are the days. Today, you need to inspire the children and make a rapport building every day. And this rapport building is done through your anchors. ANCHORS. आपको एंकर बनाना पड़ेगा अपना अपना. कोई टीचर बोलता है, children, you are the best children in the world. Children, I'm excited when I'm there in the classroom. I'm very sure you all are going to get 100 out of 100 in my subject. So these are the specific anchors which you need to take. I know you people must be having anchors like God bless you. I know you can do it. You're the best child in the class. Carry on doing. You people are so good. I know, but you need to make it a practice to change the vocabulary on the go. Because as a teacher, even I feel yesteryears, the only vocabulary I had of discussion in the classroom is no talking. Every time I used to enter the class, before I say good morning, I used to say no talking, right? And as a teacher, I think it is high time for all of us to change our vocabulary. The moment you go to the classroom when the schools open, I think you have to be creating your own vocabulary to some new format so that it sounds good to them and something new to them. For it is the high time today for the ABC has also changed. It is no longer A for apple, B for boy, and C for cat. It is actually A for Android, B for BlackBerry, and C for cloud. And to that congestion of knowledge delivery, we need to look out as the wow factor of learning and delivering within the classrooms. The wow factor, I mean wonder of wonders. जब बच्चे आपके क्लास में आए तो उनको लगे ah मैम आ गई. It should not be oh मैम आ गई. You can make the difference. You enter the classroom, लोग बोलते हैं, अरे यार मैम आ गई, अरे यार सर आ गए. But not all the teachers. Some teachers, they get the, oh, ma'am aa gayi, come on, let's be ready. So they're excited. And remember one thing, teachers, that the children will only like the subject if they like the teacher, right? And for that, you need to be developing a relationship with your students. And that relationship can only be developed when you are on the go of inspiration for all those students. You need to inspire them at every go. You need to motivate them. You need to share knowledge apart from your content on the go. And of course, every moment you go to the classroom, to 2-3 minutes, you can do some ice breaking. Something about Malala and Obama and Trump and Kejriwal and the politics and the movies and the Bollywood. Something you need to narrate to in order to bring down to the level of excitement, and then you switch your mode to the learning. And that has to be the privilege, right? So now I will just share the screen and come to my presentation. And after the presentation, we'll be opening up for the question answer session. Now you can write in the chat window if the screen is clear to you. Yeah, if one of you can just unmute yourself and tell me if the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, just a second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it okay? So the topic today actually talks about enriching the classroom engagement. Now, as I said, that if you don't engage, the children get enraged. Enraged का मतलब होता है गुस्सा दिलाना, इरिटेट होना. और आपने अक्सर देखा होगा जब आप बच्चे को सर नेम से पुकारते हैं तो बच्चा थोड़ा सा इरिटेट होता है, लेकिन जब आप बच्चे को फर्स्ट नेम से पुकारते हैं तो वो बच्चा खुश होता है. Similar is when you ask the children, when you address the children using the roll number, he is not that happy. If I call you by your employee code, you may not be that happy. Yes, for once or twice you can understand, it's okay. But the second time is somebody addresses you by your first name, it's a delight. So make sure that your classroom enrichment starts with you knowing the names of all the children and calling them by the first name. That has to be a priority. Now you'll say, sir, how to remember so many names? Let them wear their first name tag written with the sketch pen in bold and wear it through the safety pin on their shirts for 1 week. And let me tell you, very soon, within 10 days, you'll get to know all of them. And that's the best way, because the eye cards are always the other side, you know. So that is the first strategy you need to manage and reorient yourself to the new way of connect with your students. The second thing is, of course, virtual teaching will never replace the love, the laughs, the learning, the smiles on the students' faces, and the aha moment that happen in an actual classroom. And of course, the quarantine isn't a break for teachers, it's actually a hard to break. So we need to look out for the learning opportunities, the teaching opportunities, preparing ourselves the best so that when we go to the classroom, they are excited. They are looking forward कि कब स्कूल खुले, कब हम क्लास में जाएं, कब हम मैम से क्वेश्चन पूछें, कब मैम को देखें, टीचर को देखें, हमने इतने दिन से देखा नहीं. You know, like they are looking forward to meeting you, and they become what you pour into them. Certainly, if you pour love, they become lovable. And that is the priority we need to look forward to. As a teacher, as I said, the words matter a lot. What you speak, how you speak, the very moment आप जब क्लास में जाते हैं और बोलते हैं good morning children, it makes the difference. How you say so makes the difference. And the first thing is, make sure that you deliver the wonderful words which they feel good to listen to. I'm so proud of you. I can't imagine my life without you. You're so special. I'm so happy to have you all as my students. You make the life worth living. There is no one like you all. You all are so beautiful. I love you all to the moon and back, especially for primary and pre-primary kids. They love it. You have such a great heart. You are an amazing student. I'm so thankful you're a part of this class. You bring so much of life into the world. You have so many charts placed in your classrooms. How many times you let your children read those charts? And how many times you let your children explain what is written in the charts? And that has to be the practice exercise for you, some brainstorming activity. I really appreciate you. There is nothing that will ever make me stop loving you. I'm always on your side. You have a bright future ahead. I love seeing your smile. And these are some of the initiatives which we can target as anchors in the classroom, because you are what you speak, you are what you deliver. Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is ours. The initiative has to be to assure an alert code of visualization, like how's the Josh, the boys and the girls? How are you doing? The emotional cup has to be delivered with imagination of every child who needs to have an emotional connect, emotionally safe in the classroom. आपने देखा होगा, many students, they don't even raise their hands to go to the washroom. They'll wait for the period to get over or the break to happen, then they'll go, because they are not emotionally safe in the classroom. They are even if they have to come out to you for some issue or problem, they'll try solving among themselves rather than coming to you, because they are not emotionally safe. Because at times they are limited to talking to you just by saying good morning ma'am and thank you ma'am. And that is where we need to catch them. You need to come more than good morning and interact with them. This is the high time when you can talk to them in the chat mode, or you can share your audio talks, share your record your voice and send it to them and ask them to answer it in the form of a podcast or an audio file. This is how you can upgrade their personality of communication. Also, there are ways through which you can deal with children having an empty cup. They can steal from other people's cup. They can misbehave to get your attention and show what they need to refill. They seem to have bottomless cups or need constant topping off. They can't sit still for refills, and they are actively engaged to refuse them. They bounce back off the walls when they approach empty and think they have to fight or compete for every refill. What fills the child's cup? Of course, the love, the attention, the play, the friendship, the one on one time, the love, the connection, the succeeding, and doing what they love to do or what they choose to do. And what empties the child's cup is the stress, it's the ignorance. And when we ignore the child, you know, it is one of the forms of the violation of human rights. If you ignore the child, and I was not knowing it till I had to take a session on human rights and I get to know about it, right? So don't ignore the child, engage the child. Rejection by peers is one of the forms where the child gets his empties his cup. Then yelling and punishment, failing, fatigue, doing what they are forced to do or they hate to do. So of course, at times we need to be very particular on that ground. Also, when you love your class, your students just know it. They just love it. Assure active participation through raising your hands, giving them the option to answer, and of course, practice to participate for all at all times. All your 40 children should be engaging, and you should be knowing the names of all the 40 children. If not, ask them to wear the first name tag as we have it in our workshops, so that we are, by the end of the workshop, we are able to get to know people. And catering to the new generation through a journey towards street smart teaching. And when your children desire to talk to you, you can share their problems with you, stop everything and listen to them. There is nothing more important than that. I know you have 40 children, right? But these 40 children are your real bosses, let me tell you. If they are happy, the management will always be happy. And when you go to 5 classes a day, 5 multiplied by 40 makes it to 200 bosses to satisfy. Not an easy task, but you have to listen to them. You have to work for them, and you're there for them. And that is what the smart teaching is all about. Wear a smile at all times as one of the wonderful strategies for being a wonderful teacher. You judge a teacher, you remember a teacher of your age, of your time. Probably you remembered a teacher who had a smile on his face all the time as one of the best teachers. Yes or no? Yes or no? You can answer by making your.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
wear a smile and pass a smile. I can understand in your voice. Even if while you're teaching online, and the way I'm speaking, if I'm smiling and speaking, you can make out by my words, and that is going to make the difference. At times when we present ourselves, or even if the way we say good morning and we answer to the time wish of our children, we need to smile and answer, because that is the time when he or she or the child, they are going to reply to us in the best possible manner. Or else they will never. Oh, the other day I remember my child, who, when he was in class 8, he came back home and said, Dad, I'm not going to go to the school tomorrow. I said, what's the problem? That teacher, I always wish that teacher, but she never replies. So I'm irritated. So I know for a teacher, because I'm a teacher myself, I consoled him and I said, see, children, there are so many students. If everyone start wishing her and she's going to reply back to everyone, do you think she's going to do the right thing? No, she was all alone walking. I went to her. I said, maybe she must have not seen you or something like that. But the children take it very seriously. So whenever any child comes to you to time wish or regard or pay some respect, remember to acknowledge that. You just can't, that child who is in class 6, 7th, 8th, or any class, doesn't matter. If he is there to come and pay respect to you, you need to acknowledge that. I know you all have been doing, but at times we, out of busy schedule, we just try to neglect, right? So don't do that. Just in case if you're doing so at times. The greatest sign of success for a teacher is to be able to say, the children are now working as if I did not exist. This is one of the wonderful quotes by Maria Montessori, and that is what is the probability which need to be raised for every classroom. And that learning has to be significant with the go. The size of your audience doesn't matter. Keep up the good work. Maybe that you have 5 children, you have 50 children, doesn't matter. You need to be delivering your quality work all the time, the first time, every time. It is not like, oh, there are 5 children, I'll just do some little bit of quiz. Oh, I'll do some little bit of this. This is what we do when we go for arrangement classes. So try not to occupy that direction on the go. Even if you go for an arrangement class, make sure that you deliver something. Even if you go for substitution or a proxy, don't make your faces. As a teacher, even I have done arrangements and substitution for myself. I used to say, oh, it was just 2 periods. 2 periods were free and now I've got a class, right? So I think I did my arrangement yesterday. In the morning also I did one arrangement, and now again after break, I'm put for arrangement. Don't make faces, friends. I know it's obvious to make face, but don't make faces. Let me tell you that these are the opportunities for you when you go and interact with your students the best way possible. And that interaction brings joy, and knowledge to you. And these interactions become icebreakers for your normal classrooms. We learn a lot when we interact with our students apart from our subject. And that is the opportunity for us to learn and then share. So share an example for the behavior that you expect from your students. And then, of course, that's a great learning. Kindness is not an act, it's a lifestyle. And we need to practice that on the go. Whether it is sharing your ideas during the parent teacher meeting, you need to be kind enough to give a patient hearing to your parent teacher meeting. And these days, even the schools are having parent teacher meeting online. And that two surprise parent teacher meetings are taking place during the class hours. The class teacher is assuring to have a 1 minute hello or hi, or asking about the parents, how they are and how they're doing and what all things, just to have a good rapport with the students and the teachers. And it's high time for the schools to have a good rapport with the parents, because we are expecting fees, and that is what is our survival, right? So that way also you need to work on there, and that is the smartness on ground of teachers to convince and manipulate learning by giving good connect to both the stakeholders. Also establish a routine, welcome teaching assignments, sharing, curation, and the feedback. It is high time for all of us as teachers to integrate technology in the classrooms. And I'm very sure that there in your schools also you must be having e-learning and the connect and all sorts of tools of teaching and bringing excellence and connectivity with the students. Well, in any case, they are well occupied with the engagement through platforms like these Google Forms, Google Sheets, WhatsApp, and other platforms where they are connected. So make sure that you form a routine of welcome, teaching, having a feedback. As I was very happy that Mr. Francis shared the feedback link in the beginning only, so that you know that this is also required. And even it was a, an indication for me that there is going to be a feedback, so I need to be my best, right? So that, of course, as a teacher, as a principal, or as a boss, or as a office culture, we need to understand that these are the requisites for any strategy to be a success, and that is the approach. So if there is one thing I want my students to be, it's to be kind. Now, I'm very sure that you know about the trend today: learning, learning, learning. But they are learning against the waves. They are learning against their interest. Why? Because they are well placed in an environment of anxiety and fear these days. Quite unfortunate, and I really pray that the normalcy returns and everyone is safe and sound, and they get the negative reports. But the fact is that we need to be more towards motivating them and telling them about the fact that, see, nothing will happen and the sun is going to be bright again. And the sun is going to shine with new hopes and new opportunities. And that is why it is mandatory for the students to at least be online for some time, to initiate and have interaction with the teachers. Because when a teacher speaks, they take it by heart. आप लोग भी parents होंगे, when you speak to your students, they say, your kids at home, they say, oh, okay, okay, okay. जब तक my teacher नहीं बोलेगा, तब तक हम नहीं मानेंगे. You know, like they're blindly, they are supporting whatever the teacher says. And thanks to this profession of ours, that yes, we do get respect, recognition, honor, and hence we need to be in touch with our students, and we try to deliver them with pride, and welcome your students at all times and thank them for their patience and participation. The reference goes with the very act of understanding how best I'm going to communicate with them. Because if you don't communicate, you fail to make them impress them and convince them of what it is. So deal with the discipline issues there, and then by using personal phone calls, that's equally important. We need to teach the way they want to learn rather than the way I was taught. Because if I'm teaching the way I was taught in yesteryears, I think I should be changing my profession. Because you just cannot teach the way you were taught. Because these days, the Google generation is of a different structure altogether. They were never designed to be taught as the way we are designed to teach. So the capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, and the willingness to learn is a choice. And that willingness to learn is what we are doing. We are willingness to learn to excel. And I say that, well, it's no longer of any use to attend a webinar like this because I know everything. I've been teaching. Come on, I've been giving wonderful results. What is the fun of wasting 1 hour, 1.5 hours sitting before the thing and listening to somebody? But yes, I believe, and it is the fact, that the more you learn, the more you earn in terms of honor, recognition, and pride. Children will only recognize you out of your efforts, out of your knowledge, and out of your deliberations. And that is the high time for all of us to understand that what is my vocabulary? What are the 10 words I've learned for the last 1 month? Well, some of them are, of course, unprecedented is one word which I've learned of usage. Then, of course, the quarantine. Then, of course, the COVID-19, the most negative word. And then there are many, many. So you can even debate on the vocabulary you've had. Was this vocabulary required? No, not at all. But at least I've got some information about it. And that reference can be brought as a debate or as an interactive mode. Then in praising, make sure that you praise your students in public. There's no need praising him in private, calling him to the staff room and pray, oh, you did wonderful. Who knows? Who has seen? The child will also go away and forget. But when you praise him in public, he is going to be in love with you for all his life. Remember that. And there won't be any misconduct, there won't be any indiscipline when you praise them in public. And that is the structure you need to explore as a practice. And when you want to tell your children that you appreciate about them on their effort, describe the specific acts. Do not evaluate the character traits. But on the other hand, if you want to criticize the children, make sure you do so in private. Call them, just tell them, send them a note. Child, I want to see you after the class. Or please come and meet me in the staff room during the break hours. I'll be happy. God bless. So this is how you can make sure. And when the child comes, he's very happy. But you say that, child, you did not do this well. I'm sorry, it should not be your response to that boy in the class or to that girl in the class. I'm very, very, very unhappy, and I look forward to that you don't repeat this again. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm so happy that you did so in this form. You did not speak out in the class. So that is the format we need to understand. If I recall this as a story, there was a teacher, and that teacher came to know that a child had stolen something, some pen in the class. And that child, when he grew up, he remembered and mentioned it to that teacher when he met. And that teacher simply said, well, I do remember my boy, but when I was searching for the pen, I made sure that everybody in the class, we need to search their pockets. And the child says, ma'am, you knew that I stole that pen, but you did not name me in person. And that is what I remember today. And the teacher, what did she reply? The teacher said, well, I assured that I closed my eyes when I put my hand in the pockets to find the pen. So I even don't remember who the child was where I found the pen. So in fact, teachers are also human beings, and we need to understand the love, the care we get in exchange of teaching after years and years of passing of our students. Also, keep a positive attitude and be respectful at all times. Do not lose your control. Now, at times it happens that you get irritated out of the heavy load, the documentation, the circular and website upload, download, and so many things. But remember, when you're in the school campus, you're officially engaged to that culture, and you need to deliver the best you can, right? Do not lose your control. And remember, the successful people have only one word life plan, and that is improve. You be better than what you were yesterday. And that is what is all about my TED talk available on YouTube, just in case you're keen to listen to. You can just type Dheeraj Mehrotra TEDx or Dheeraj Mehrotra TED. Learning to learn. Learning to learn was the topic, and that is how I can share some of the ideas. The word improve here talks about a Japanese concept of Kaizen, Kaizen. Kaizen. Kaizen is an initiative which talks about continuous improvement. So you need to have Kaizen in your room, in your sense of learning, in your practice on a daily basis, and look out for the Kaizen in your life. What best you can do and how you need to improve with the march of time. Use polite and respectful language and the eye contact while on the camera. Now see, I'm on the camera, but I'm not eyeing at you. So I've taken my picture here. Choose words carefully. They are creating your reality. The way you interact with your students makes the difference. It has to be convincing. And children will like the subject only when they like you as a teacher. Make sure you do not deny your child's perceptions. Make sure you do not dispute their feelings. Make sure you do not disown their wishes. Make sure, as a teacher, you do not deride their taste, and above all, not to denigrate their opinions, not to derogate their characters, and not to argue with them of their experience. Instead, acknowledge. Acknowledge for their being so, and then guide them to the best. Also, your speed doesn't matter. Forward is forward. I call my students my kids because in 1 year together, they aren't just kids on my class list, but they become a part of my heart. Yes, of course. As they look at you, they don't flash their eyeballs or their eyelashes, looking at it that they are glued to our own communication stream, and the streaming goes well only when we are interesting. Otherwise, they look out through the windows and there are n number of distractions happening in the classroom on the go. So the only solution is engage them. Now, engaging them should be done with the very purpose of one of the strategies which you need to follow is ask questions in the classroom which 90% of the बच्चा लोग should be able to answer. हम लोग क्या होता है क्वेश्चन ऐसा पूछते हैं जो कि 90% of the children are not able to answer because हमें तो difficult question पूछना है ना, because हमारा priority होता है to make them quiet in the classroom because the principal is on the round. तो अगर हम क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे बच्चा डरेगा डरेगा बात नहीं करेगा क्योंकि हाँ सर क्वेश्चन पूछ लेंगे, मैडम क्वेश्चन पूछ लेंगे, फिर खड़ा कर देंगे, फिर बाहर भेज देंगे, तो इससे एंगेजमेंट नहीं होगा. Engagement will only happen when we ask questions which 90% of the children know the answer all about. Then you see the participation. They'll raise their hands. They'll participate in the best possible manner. And once they start interacting, you increase the standard of the questions. जो बच्चे ने कभी हाथ नहीं उठाया, उसने सही जवाब दिया, and that will make the difference. He'll go home, he'll answer, he'll tell the parents. Even in the bus, while he'll going home, the other students will ask, "Oh, बड़ा पढ़ रहे हो आजकल? You replied back today." The children will be, they will be excited that I got the opportunity today and I answered. And I knew the answer. This is how they'll develop the love for that subject because they've started liking you now. Ma'am bahut achhi hai. And once they say in their mind, ma'am bahut achhi means jo unka bataya hua, I will read the most. So make sure that you follow this strategy. Include everyone and encourage questions which 90% of the participants should be able to answer. So by the time you are able to interact with them, I think it's high time for you to raise the standards of the questions as well. Be friendly but firm. All exits from the classroom must be acknowledged with a valid reason, permission, and late joining must be mentioned as warnings. Many of the schools are following that card system or pass system or things like that. They carry it. But the fact is that when they move out of the class, they know where the washroom is, right? But they don't know where the classroom is. So while going to the washroom, they'll go straight to the washroom, but coming back to the class, they'll move around. Why? Why is it that they are not interested in coming back to the classroom? We need to revisit on that ground कि ऐसा क्या है कि बच्चा क्लास से भागना चाहता है और क्लास में आना नहीं चाहता, right? So I think we need to revisit on that ground, change your strategies so that the children are glued to you for the learning and they wait for the time for the bell to ring and then they go to the washroom, right? So these are the barriers and the rockstar teachers need to contribute to that learning in a big manner. I can share and discuss some of the transactions which take place in the classroom as distractions. The transparent window panes are probably one of the distractions in the classroom. Then a peon coming with a circular, the children are excited. They yell, they shout, "Kal chutti hai kya?" So these are some of the distractions in the classrooms, but you are teaching against the wave and you need to make sure that these distractions don't occur and you come out with a wonderful spectrum in the classroom. Ask your students in advance for ideas and suggestions. That's a priority. About the session expectations, that's equally. You need to teach the way the children want to learn rather than you want to teach. Don't go by your plan book. Go by the plan of the book of the students. Go by what they want. Every child needs to hear, "I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I'm listening." You've got what it takes. Make sure, talk to them what and how they want to learn. Maybe they want to learn outside. Every time the children, you go to the arrangement class, substitution class, proxy class, what they want, they don't want you. What they want that the football or the volleyball to be issued from the principal's office or the PTI, and they want to go to the field. They don't want to come to you, "Ma'am, let's go to the field. Ma'am, can we go to and play?" Why? Because they know when they're there with the teacher who is doing arrangements, it's not going to do anything, right? So try to plan your arrangement class also. And these days, even I found that with the e-timetable of the schools going on, even there is an arrangement, e-arrangement for teachers who are not able to take classes, right? So you need to learn how to engage. Otherwise, they are very excited going to either to the field or to the computer room to play the game, right? So that is the spectrum they're ideally practicing, right? So praise your students in public and criticize them in private through your personal interactions on the go. And it is what we already know that often prevents us from learning, right? I know it all. So that approach has to be brought to that aspect. Be confident and be positive. Share the learning with delightful strategies and participation. To be a great teacher, you don't need to be the latest in technology, the cutest classroom, or the newest outfit. What you do need is a passion for learning and the heart to love every student who is there in your classroom, and make sure that do wonders, that they do wonders. The moment you go to the classroom, tell them, children, I'm happy to be here in the class, and I want all of you to get 100 out of 100 in the subject. And repeat this again and again every day. What will happen? They'll do nothing but learning, right? And you need to incorporate some of the 10 fastest growing soft skills in the new decade. The first one is the growth mindset. You need to have a positive mindset, the growth mindset for yourself and also for your students. Creative. You need to be creative teacher. You need to be creative in delivering your workshops or the classrooms or the delivery or your lab, the way you manage experiment in your labs. You need to be creative. You need to focus your mastery. You need to be innovative. And above all, you need to be developing your communication skills over the time. Don't make your faces, or don't say my throat is bad when the principal calls you for the assembly talk. But the teachers talk. It happens because I go for school audits. Every time I see and find out, the teacher has to have a sorry figure, say my throat is bad when the teachers are requested to go for the teachers talk. So please take it as an opportunity. Don't take it as a challenge, because the moment you go to the mic, the children look forward to you as a leader. And every teacher in you, or every teacher today, has to be a principal someday, because the principals are not born out of principalship, right? They are teachers like me or like you. So make sure that speaking on the mic is one of your activities to become a leader tomorrow. You all are classroom leaders, but when you need to be a school leader, you need to practice communication skills. And this is the high time when you deliver a speech in the assembly. Of course, that's the high time for you to also practice when 2,000 kids are watching, right? And that's how you deliver that courage, the pride, the perfection. Storytelling. Yes, storytelling is something very good. Like I told about one story. So you'll remember that story as a part of learning, and also the content which I deliver through the storytelling methodology. Culture awareness. Try to engage yourself, get to know about the culture, be aware the new culture, the new taste, the new learning style. Critical thinking. Give an eye to it, give an ear to it, and engage yourself to some of the critical thinking capsules towards any initiative. Leadership, you're all a leader, born leader, but the effective leader, you need to make a difference. Emotional intelligence, you need to imbibe positive emotional intelligence in order to manage your principal, the colleagues, the parents, and the society at large. You just can't be accepting 2 plus 2 is 4. You need to diagnose on it, and just can't accept the fact that the sky is blue. You need to actually know why the sky is blue, so that you are able to interpret well. Well, the branch of the tree or the tree itself, you see, this was once just a seed. What are you planting? Of course, the better trees. Yeah. So, dear teachers, make learning a priority. Make your class presentations engaging and colorful. I am a teacher because I am a learner. I work on the weekends and holidays. I can take attendance, collect papers, and tie shoelaces all at the same time. I never give a break to use the bathroom or the washroom during school hours. My students accidentally call me mom and dad. I'm broke. I can eat many lunch in less than 2 minutes while walking around and supervising the students. Yes, I've seen many teachers going on lunch duties, just having the food in 2 minutes and going for the lunch duty, or they are told to do it beforehand or after the lunch, because if they are doing duty, they need to be doing it religiously, and that is the priority we need to take and come to. 7 words that can change a kid's life. I love having you in my class. That's the job is done. The job is done. When you say so, I love my students, or I love having you in my class, right? Be positive, and there will never be any issue of indiscipline ever. Protect yourself with the copyright laws and set up an example for yourself and for your students. Showcase your online presence because children love to Google you before they come to your class. Believe in yourself, have some YouTube videos, have some online presence with your Google account as a teacher, of course. Have your channel on the YouTube. You can develop your channel. The only thing is you have to have a Gmail account and you can develop it yourself. Children need words that convey feelings, responses that change their moods, statements that encourage goodwill, answers that bring insight, replies that radiate respect, recognition, honor. अक्सर होता है, अरे मैम के क्लास में मैं नहीं जाऊंगा, मेरे को 5th के लड़कियों के सामने डांटा, you know, at times class 5th children or 4th children they say मेरे को लड़कियों के सामने डांटा, I am not going to go to school today or tomorrow. So that is the preference which you need to look forward to, how best you are not going to connect with the approach and how simple it is to just let it go. To be in your child's memories tomorrow, you have to be in their lives today as a teacher. And that's a priority. Above all, give children a choice and a voice in matters that affect their lives. Listen to them, give them a positive hearing, teach your students to curate knowledge and share. And when you keep criticizing your kids, they don't just stop loving you, they stop loving themselves. So let that sink in. Please don't criticize your children. Even if you do so, do it in private, समझा के, हाथ सर पे रख के, God bless you बोल के. Practice kindness. I prefer the term educational rock star, and that is you are. You all are educational rock stars. And that is one of my courses available on Udemy. Just in case you people are keen, making teaching aha, you can check on Udemy. And this is the reference and the reflections. And as Mr. Francis pointed out, these are some of my books, although there were some in the pictures also. So they're available on Amazon. You can search it on Amazon by the books which are interesting. You can even go for it. And now I'm trying to close my screen and come back to the interaction mode so that we can come up with some questions. Yes, please. Yeah. Can we have the questions in the chat mode so that I can answer them well? Okay, open to your questions. Please unmute yourself. You can send me in the chat mode. I can answer for all instead of asking in audio mode. Please type your questions, friends. Okay, Jyoti says we did an online parents-teacher meeting and all the classes so that they can get connected to their teachers. Very good. All paths clear by your session, sir. Thank you, Sudan says. Sir, do you think being strict is also needed? Yes, very well. Being strict, actually, strictness is one of the identities of any teacher. Like it is one of the qualities of a leader or a teacher. But you need to wear so many caps at the same time, right? You need to wear the cap of strictness, you need to wear the cap of politeness, humbleness, but not at all the time. You know, you need to look forward to things. Yes. Sudan says, learned many things. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, please go ahead with some more questions. Sophia says, sir, we are lucky to touch the hearts and mold the young minds. Yes, that is one of our deliveries, one of our the requisites. We need to deliver that. Very informative and motivational session. Satwinder ji, thank you very much. Sir, the slides you shared were excellent. Okay, Sujata. Sometimes students take advantage of being too kind. Yes, so you need to wear, as I said, you need to wear the hat of kindness, politeness, and the discipline. One of the slides of mine had about strictness, you know, firm. So that firmness, you cannot be a good principal if you don't practice discipline, or a good teacher if you don't practice discipline. You need to know how to engage the class as well as how to monitor the class. And that's what we call it, the term management, MANAGEMENT, right? Which means manage men tactfully. That is the very use of management, you know. So Kaizen is something very important in today's world. Yes, Neelam, I agree with you. Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy. It's a word which talks about continuous improvement, right? Sir, we have learned so many things, so many words from you. Kalpesh, thank you, Kalpesh. Any specific books that you would recommend that a primary teacher should read or refer? Yeah. See, there are so many books available. I have one of my books, 200 Wow Teaching Ideas. You can check it on Amazon just in case you're keen. Even the e-books are available, and there are wonderful, you know, platforms where you can engage the kids and use. Sir, you encourage us to be a wow teacher. Yes, Suman, I want you all to become wow teacher and rockstar teacher. Just saw your YouTube channel and will refer and learn from it. Chitender Kumar, thank you very much. Yeah. Any practices to keep oneself cool in school environment? Now, see, you have to practice the perfection. So if you practice the perfection, you'll always be happy. And when you are happy, not stressed, automatically the cool atmosphere will be there. People should know that you are a cool person. You are a fit person to do the best job all the time. So try practicing perfect. As people say, perfect practice makes a person perfect, right? So believe in the perfection. Make sure all your children are happy when you go to the classroom, and explore the participation, right? So that aha moment has to go on. Please refer some good books. Well, the books are all good. You need to imbibe that learning from those books. The books I've shared, you can check on Amazon. Just check Amazon, right? You will get some of my books, right? Just search and you can order them. There are also good courses available on Udemy. I have very good courses on Udemy. So you can search. I showed one of the courses. The other courses are also available at the rate of around 300 rupees. So it's around 1 hour, 1.5 hour course where you get certified from Udemy itself. So they are good courses available. Then you can search for free courses available on Udemy. There are free certified courses available. And there is also a platform known as Coursera. So there also, and there are many, many MOOC courses available, MOOC courses by the universities globally. So you can even sign up for those courses and check out the learning. Adolescent students have attention problem. Yes, there are attention seeking students in all the class, right? And you need to be very particular on that ground that equal attention and recognition is given to all the children, the weak children as well as the good children or the very well children, you know, the experienced children or the children who are well versed at their language and competency along with the other. Because if you just give attention to the bright children in the classroom, the other children will not get that interest and they'll just kill the time if no recognition is given. So you need to be going places to recognize these, and the real task of the teacher, I call it the best teacher to the teacher whose 40 percenter gets 60 rather than 85 getting 95, right? So that is what is the spectrum we need to look forward to, that we need to find 40 percenters going to 60 or 65. That is the real labor of the teacher. So you are a successful teacher only when your children listen to you, work with you, and go. And you need to be prove yourself as uh, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Those who know English literature or the poetry, so that is how you. Can you suggest any remedies for slow learners of mischievous children? Yes, very well. There you need to practice and make use of experiential learning. Now, experiential learning is one of the forms of learning where you make them experience the learning segment, and that is what you need to check on. Sir, I have experienced calling students my kids and then they share their personal problems. Certainly, Sujata, you're very right. You need to treat your students as your own children. अक्सर हम लोग बेटा बेटा करके पुकारते हैं, and they also come up to us by saying so, mom at times, because they are glued to our understanding and the deliberation. So the best teacher is the one who doesn't go or let the students go to private tuitions. किसी की जरूरत ही ना पड़े, आप ऐसा पढ़ाइए. क्या कमी रह गई आप में कि बच्चे ट्यूशन कर रहे हैं और भाग रहे हैं? तो हमको अपने आप को रिविजिट करना पड़ेगा कि हमारे बच्चे कहीं ना जाएं, किसी की जरूरत ही ना पड़े. इट इज समथिंग लाइक वन डॉक्टर के पास आ रहे हैं, यू आर नो लेस देन अ डॉक्टर एंड द पेशेंट इज अगेन गोइंग टू सम अदर डॉक्टर इन द इवनिंग for the medicine. So what is the fun, right? So make sure that you deliver that pride, the learning in the best possible manner. We need to be empathetic than sympathetic. Yes, empathy plays a wider role today because they need to understand the feelings of others without criticizing, right? Sympathy na karke empathy, because there is a very small difference between the two words, sympathy and empathy, right? So you need to be empathetic, try to know the feelings of others and act wisely to that spectrum, right? And that's very much required. Thank you. Any ideas for reducing absentees? See, the best part is that you try engaging the students in the best possible manner and have surprises. Have surprises on a daily basis, because having surprises, like once you celebrate the birthday or you celebrate the birthday of say 5 students on one day only, there are many ways, so that the children don't and you don't tell them what day are you going to celebrate. So there is always a touch on the attendance, right? So that approach has to be there. Yeah. Then what next? Any other question? Valuable session, Vandana, thank you very much. So that talks about reducing absentees, and also you can search for something like surprise quizzes, tests, surprise parties, have toffees, recognize the children for the day who have been perfect, who have been regular. So this is again one of the initiatives you can follow. Okay. Yeah. Now, if anyone wants to share through audio, because the chat mode is one way of communication, now we can have some the other ways of communication through the audio. So one of you can, open up the audio and what you like the best, or what is your takeaway from this session, so that the others get to revise that work. Okay, this is one of the forms of teaching where you let one of the children to stand and say what he took the best from this session, or what he liked from the story. So one of you can just speak out by unmuting your audio. Please introduce yourself and then go ahead.
I'm Apurva.
Okay.
I would like to know whether how to cope up with the slow learners when you're teaching any topic,
Yeah.
and if a child is not capable that much to understand it.
Yeah, that is what the Jitendra Kumar also asked. I
So it's
replied
me
to
only.
him.
It's me
Yeah.
only.
Okay, okay, okay. So slow learner, actually, first of all, every child is a slow learner. Why? Because it depends on the teacher how you teach. One way is you deliberate and then you make others feel that they have understood about it, right? But the slow learner is only slow because of his weak base. So you need to be very, very comfortable on the ground that whatever you are delivering has to have a sound base. If the child is comfortable with the base knowledge, there won't be any issue on that particular ground. So I think it is high time that you counsel the child that this is what you're going to learn. You can call those 10 children in remedial, or you can tell them, beta, ye padh ke aana, and tomorrow we are going to teach, so that when you are ready, see, motivation counts a lot. उसको आपने एक क्वेश्चन दिया, कहा ये मैं पूछूंगी, और आपने उन 10 बच्चों से वो क्वेश्चन पूछा और बच्चों ने जवाब दिया. You need to be tactful, because slow learner is a learner who is lacking motivation in some form or the other. If he is motivated, he'll go out of the way to learn whatever you teach. So you need to try to, first of all, give him that recognition in the classroom by giving him some questions and telling him, you come prepared, I'll ask, and in front of the whole class, you need to answer. I want you to answer. Like you prepare them for the debate, for the quiz, for the interaction beforehand, or even I've seen the schools prepare children for the assembly of the next day. So you prepare them and let these slow learners, don't have a tag of slow learners, just that they were absent the other day, so they are not able to coordinate. So it is high time for all of us to initiate this task. Yes. Next question, please. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir, I'm Neelam here.
Okay.
Yeah, and something that we all really liked about your few motivating words for us were in the beginning when you said the head and the teacher handpicked. That itself,
Yeah.
boosted us so much, and we've got such a lot to learn. Apart
Yeah.
from that, the affirmation that you said about fear, fear has two meanings:
Yeah.
forget everything and
Yes.
run, or forget everything
Yeah.
and rise. The choice is yours.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
something which was very good. Then even the house, the
Okay.
Josh, the emotional cup, what
Yeah.
fills the child's cup and what empties. So there was a beautiful demarcation between the two. That was something really very nice. Another thing is blind followers. The kids have to be blind followers of teachers. That was something really nice that we got to learn. Apart from that, something the word that Kaizen you said. Of course, we have to be continuously learning throughout our lives. That's a nice philosophy
Yeah.
that we learn. Also, be convincing. Do not disown their wishes. Then do not degenerate derogatory remarks. Something that be friendly and firm, and they'll be
Yeah.
of blind followers. Uh, So this was something that we really got to learn a lot. And about, of course, your books and Udemy that you said, then experiential things that
Learning.
you have learning that you've said to all of us. So, and believe in yourself. Don't run away from the task that you're given. So that was
Yeah.
something really enriching, and we'll definitely follow what we've learned from you. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Thank
Yeah.